Hello. I'm reaching out to you Americans today, for our time is near. Now what I'm about to tell you is something Americans need to know. I advise you to listen closely for the next 13 to 15 minutes. Now see, your government, it has been taken over. This is no joke. Now I'm recording this today for the fact that our time is near. I've worked with these monsters. I refuse to call them people. I was assigned to the head of security for protection of one of these global elites. I cannot say who. It will jeopardize my life. That's why I'm asking my voice, but I must reach out to all of you. I feel it is my duty. I have overheard these meetings. I've been to these meetings. I stood guard at these meetings. I have played along for 20-30 years. At first, I thought nothing of it. The past 5 years, this is why I'm making this today. This is why I'm reaching out to you. I know these plans, and I know they're in works, and I know our time to act is growing thin. Now, as they say, everything is placed, and nobody can stop us now. People have to get used to change. Now, this is the list of things they are planning to achieve for the New World Order system. Listen as I read these. Mind you, this was wrote by one of his colleagues in 1989. The real and stated goals: population control, permission to have babies, redirecting the purpose of sex, contraception university available to all, sex education is a tool of world government, tax-funded abortion as population control, encouraging homosexuality. You all see that? It's in the news. Families do diminish in importance, limiting access to affordable medical, Obamacare, planning the control over medicine, elimination of private doctors, new difficult to diagnose and treatable diseases, suppressing cancer cures as a means for population control. They have a cure for cancer, not for me or you though. And now inducing heart attacks. Education is a tool for accelerating onset of puberty and evolution. Blending all religions, the old religions, they'll have to go. Controlling who has access to information. The age of the internet, it'll go. Schools as the hub of the community. Books would just disappear from the libraries. History will be rewritten. Changing laws. The encouragement of drug abuse to create a jungle atmosphere, alcohol abuse, restrictions on travel, the need for more jails and using hospitals as jails, crime used to manage society, curtailment of American industrial preeminence, shifting populations and economies, tearing the social roots, sports as a tool of social change, travel restrictions and implanted ID, microchip, food control, weather manipulation, know how people respond, JDL, mastering the human domain, falsified scientific research, global warmth, terrorism, ISIS, financial control, surveillance, NSA, television, what should watch, home ownership, it'll be a thing of the past. The arrival of the totalitarian global system is here. Now see, the true leaders of your government are the banking cartel, as we call it. They have a plan, and I'm sure you've had rumors of it before. It is referred to as the New World Order. See now, while most Americans are blinded, sitting by watching sporting events, engaged with social media, trying to raise their family, and engaged with mindless activities, there is a sinister plan that is near completion for you, your family, and anyone else they deem disobedient. The reports have been coming out for years, and some Americans, you have the message and aware of what is happening. Some are not. Now the Bilderberg Group is an elite meeting of the world's wealthiest people, including the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and American politicians. These are the true rulers of the world. They do not care about the people. They care about leaving a legacy in history. Look at our history. They've already done this. You'll see it is not far-fetched from the truth at all. Centralized banking. The US dollar has come to its end. The other countries refuse the United States dollars for trading in oil, and countries such as China and Russia are starting to switch away from the currency. In China, they only use the yuan when selling and buying oil. Now, the world officials, they are not elected. They are not elected at all. They are selected by the puppet master. The Rothschild families and other elite ruling classes, they are in charge of the Federal Reserve and the distribution of money all across the world. However, the gig is up for them and they are aware of it, but they have a plan. Do not worry. Now see, the dollar, it has been overused and America has spent more than it can produce. This leads to one thing. Obama was put into place for the final phase of this multi-decade plan. I will not get into his ties with the Marxist and communist-related people. Now see, the only reason this has not happened in America sooner is the fact you have your guns. You need to keep them. This is important. There have been multiple attempts to take them, false flag events, bills introduced into the government, underground workings, the UN working directly with the Obama regime for gun confiscation. They know they are unable to possibly finish the plans if every American is armed. Now that is why they are counting on of you to fight each other. Before Obama, there's not major racial intention at all. There's no major racial divide. There's a little, but there's a lot today. Now that these plans have been put into motion, you can expect dire consequences to come next. A race war is used to that advantage by pitting cop versus people, people versus cops, black versus white versus black, and so on. Now the immigrants, look at what is happening. You see the supposed shooting in South Carolina? This has fanned the flames even more. This was on purpose. The race war, it has begun. Just look around, look at the recent videos of the Confederate flag. It's everywhere. Now the ultimate plan is to create much diversity against Americans. They are not one, but separated. Once this is achieved, which is happening very fastly, is when they will make their move. These are the steps, and it's not long. The recent executive actions of Obama are signs of all of this being implemented. The stage one will be to create civil unrest in major United States cities, such as New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Detroit, major cities. This will be preceded by a month of subliminal programming via TV and other media to condition the people for the civil war in the United States. Press releases released by Time Warner, the Rockefeller Corporation, mind you, and 5 other corporate-owned media Mongols will further inflame the citizens of the United States, further causes of the civil unrest. Now stage 2 should be ready to take effect this summer, thus why Jade Helm is in effect. Special agents of this conspiracy masquerading as police may open fire on American people standing to defend the Constitution and their constitutional rights. You see militias being organized. Now these special agents masquerading as police, what will happen is they will fire at the policemen. This brings in more police and the riots will escalate. What will happen? The real police will be vastly outnumbered that cannot handle the rioting. The National Guard is called in and fired upon by other special agents masquerading as gang members. It will not take many of them, and they are ready for this. All who those enlist and other gang members to fight the police and National Guardsmen. Now these riots continue with many Americans slaughtered in major United States cities. The globalist plans are now in effect and will usher in the United Nations peacekeeping force. They say peace. No. As a growing number of reports of the United Nations military equipment have been seen pass through in the United States communities on trains and trucks. Take a look at the videos. Everywhere have been surfacing in recent years. Just look on YouTube of military equipment moving in the United States. There's even United Nations trucks here. This is why FEMA camps are prepared. This is why they have purchased 1.6 billion rounds of hollow point ammunition. This is why you've seen mass coffins being hauled across the country. This is why they have tried to disarm the American people. This is why the Walmarts have crossed across the southern border. This is why immigrants, Mexicans and Muslims, are being allowed to flood the country. These people, they're more easier to control, given the opportunity to live and be sheltered, more obedient to the New World Order. Americans, they've grown up with freedoms, they're less prone. Now, after this event that is planned, it will be chaos. You see, they're preparing for this, and they know that some sort of natural disaster is imminent. We can only speculate on what that is, but top elites are aware. I was unavailable, I was not in these meetings. We were forced to leave. Now, the ultimate plan is to have a natural disaster to light the fuse, whether it's man-made or an act of Mother Nature. Now, with a flag, the Confederate flag and the blacks and whites against each other is creating diversity. This is not by accident. This is all planned. Once you're all separated, it's going to be much, much easier for them. Now, stage 4 of this. If the riots takeover scenario failed to materialize into a national emergency, and a New World Order takeover at that time, and the natural disaster, which is either man-made or an act of Mother Nature that we're unaware of, the New World Order advocates will create yet another crisis to further their agenda. For some reason, they are desperate to bring about the New World Order takeover of the United States of America. That is definitely their goal. Now, if all else fails, they may attempt an all-out United Nations invasion of the United States using whatever possible means they can justify it as such a UN operation. During later this year, the chaos continues and more UN troops pour into the United States, mostly mercenaries who have fought in Syria, Libya, and other African nations and other hotspots previously. Now, the butchery of these troops is well documented. Stage 5. A well-planned crash of the stock market will occur. A dramatic drop to at least 1,500 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, along with the crash of the United States dollar. Now, this event is planned to further weaken, panic, and confuse the population, followed by a failure in the United States food chain. Food shortages will follow. Once this event happens, people will panic. They will be without homes. They will be without shelter, water, or food. The government and FEMA will extend their helping hand. And that's where it gets ugly. Once they have done this, they will declare a state of emergency, essentially another form of martial law. The elections, they're not going to happen. To be case in America, and Obama, he will reign. The Constitution of the United States is going to be suspended, and the people are now living under martial law in a totally fascist state. Now, all of this is planned to happen. This is going to happen. These are the two main immediate goals: to disarm American citizens and suspend constitutional rights. I assure you of this. Now, the dollar will collapse. It's going to be controlled, and it will lead to chaos. You will have people deemed unfit for the New World Order. They will be killed. There are certain people who will be given a chance to receive a microchip to make further transactions. There will be no dollar. It will be the formation of the North American Union. That is why control of gold, money, banking, and credit are integral to this agenda to create conditions necessary for the inauguration of the New World Order. Those in control of the New World Order have been orchestrating this wicked and evil plan for decades. And they've been understanding that the control of the monetary systems of all nations is key to implementing an iron fist control the nations of the world. The other main mechanism of control in the establishment is a world army and world police force. Take a look at the Pope and what he is saying recently. Now, whose power will be mostly limitless in their task of controlling all people everywhere, totally from the cradle to the grave. And crucial to this, a cashless society and a microchipped population being controlled, tracked, spied on. Now, the United Nations is a major factor in this. In America, I present you this information. The choice is to act now or let this happen.